HVAC.
Now, your eyewitness weather forecast.
Well, as expected, the fog is really the issue tonight. So if you have to go out, plan on reduced visibilities. Give yourself distance between yourself and your neighbor on the road there, and just be careful. I mean, look, you're smart. You know what you're doing. And for goodness sakes, use your low beams, please. I'm like driving around all the time, getting blinded by high beams. Anyway, that's a look downtown right now. You can see the visibility is reduced quite a bit. So we're going to have locally dense fog around through the evening, through the overnight. 39 degrees. And notice the dew point and that number right there. So when they are smack dab with each other, that's 100% relative humidity. Of course, relative humidity relative to the temperature. And that's why we are at saturation. That's why we have this locally dense fog. And that calm wind isn't helping matters. There's virtually no wind. So it's mainly dry, aside from drizzle associated with fog, which they kind of go hand in hand because it's a cloud on the ground, right? Then we get into the midnight hour, and we kind of let it all hang out, like Eric Clapton, with some rain arriving. Temperatures in the upper 30s to near 40. Then we get into the day tomorrow. Widespread rain early will taper to scattered showers by late morning, but it's still damp and murky and mild into the afternoon. Still some patchy fog with highs in the mid-40s. To be quite honest with you, I'm really, frankly, surprised that we don't have a dense fog advisory here in Oneida County. Still could be issued, but down to the south, dense fog advisory, winter weather advisory up north, but we are not talking about any type of wintry weather here. It's just rain. This is kind of a simulation of what we expect the fog to look like. Notice it will be patchy, but some areas will have less than a mile visibility in some of these darker corridors down into Madison County, also parts of Otsego County, and down into the Mohawk Valley as well. And look at how that kind of proliferates as we go through the overnight and into the day tomorrow. So out the door tomorrow morning, again, fog will be thick in a few places. We will start to see this fog bank lift a little bit through the afternoon. Temperatures now are in the upper 30s to right around 40, in the low 40s down to the south into Otsego County, and up north temperatures here in the mid 30s. Not much showing up though on Doppler radar right now. That will be changing as we kind of have this just train of moisture continuing to lift its way north right up over you and I. So we've got more rain on the way. We'll show you how this evolves through the evening. It's dry, but there's that next round of rain coming in by midnight Friday morning. We will still be dealing with rain. Could fall steady and heavy at times for a little while before tapering to scattered showers. And then it's cloudy and drizzle and patchy fog through the afternoon. Temperatures will be in the mid-40s. So let's talk about how much rain. Notice the numbers don't really do much until overnight. They start to go up, and yeah, some of this rain could be steady to heavy at times, so ½ inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch in a few locations. Most of the rivers will be able to handle this, but those smaller creeks and streams may rise a little bit. Now, let's talk about the scenario here. A couple different scenarios I want to share with you on Sunday. Low pressure will be forming right near Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and that will put us on the northern fringe of some snowy weather here on Sunday. However, there are still a few computer models that say, this is actually going to go a little south. So a couple different scenarios could unfold here. If that storm system goes south, then we will just kind of get grazed by some light snow. I think it's going to be somewhere in between, and probably the heaviest snow along the southern tier in New York as we go into Sunday. So 45 tomorrow, patchy fog, showers ending, Saturday's dry, a little fog in the morning. We watch that wet snow Sunday, a modest accumulation to the south, colder Monday. We'll try for some breaks of sun in the afternoon, and you need it at this point. More clouds Tuesday, scattered flakes Wednesday, and not quite as chilly by Thursday.
Well, I'm really glad at least the sun is going to be coming out at some point this week because we do need it.
It's up there somewhere behind all the clouds. We just kind of got to get it to peek through a little bit.
Well, thank you so much, Craig. Absolutely. Well, still to come on Eyewitness News at 6. The Utica Fire Department receives legislation from Assemblywoman Buttons Shawn. Stay with us.
Now, your Eyewitness Weather forecast.
Good evening, gang. It is still murky and in some cases pretty foggy across central New York, but this particular shot downtown along the arterial, not much. We've seen the fog lift temporarily, but like I said going into the break, it's going to be kind of insidious overnight, meaning, you know, at times it will look like this, and then at other times the fog will roll in. So just be mindful that it'll sneak up on you out there tonight if you have to go out for any reason. 38, temperatures aren't going to drop much more from where they are now. We've had mainly dry weather outside of just the drizzle, which usually goes hand in hand with fog, but there is a round of rain that's on the way and will be arriving near shortly after midnight here in the Mohawk Valley. It's going to linger into Friday morning. Do you have to? Do you have to let it linger? And it will into Friday morning before tapering to just some sprinkles. Damp through the afternoon, and once again, probably dealing with areas of patchy fog. 45. You remember earlier, if you were watching and with me at 6 o'clock, I said, I don't understand why we're not in a dense fog advisory. Well, it's like they read my mind. Because now we are, and it makes sense. Dense fog advisory here for Oneida County and also down to the south. So speaking to the fact that there will be some locally dense fog reducing visibilities. North Country dealing with a winter weather advisory as we will see a little bit of sleet or freezing rain way up north as we go into later tonight. So this is kind of a snapshot of how the fog will behave. Notice how it kind of fills in here. So out the door tomorrow morning, there will be areas of dense fog, and it's probably going to be with us, I have a sneaky suspicion, right into the afternoon as well. Look at the numbers outside now. So we're in the upper 30s to near 40. Like I said, numbers go nowhere. Very similar to what happened last night, 40 in Cooperstown and in the mid-30s up north. That's a look now at radar. Nice and quiet here, but we go out a little bit wider and we'll show you this rain train moving up from the Gulf of Mexico and just continuing to head right in our direction. So another slug of rain that's coming up into Ohio, western Pennsylvania. This is all heading right for us as we go through the overnight. You can see how that evolves here. It's going to linger into Friday morning and then taper to some sprinkles and spotty scattered showers through the afternoon. Areas of fog. Highs will be in the mid-40s. Through the day, Saturday, a lot of cloud cover. But I think mainly dry weather on Saturday. How much rain are we talking? I think anywhere from like a half an inch to maybe 3/4 by the time we get to Friday morning. So, yeah, enough that some of the smaller creeks and streams may rise just a little, but this is not an overall flooding situation. Then we look ahead to Sunday. Storm system developing. Still some debate on where this thing actually goes, but if this scenario pans out, we're going to be in some light snow here on Sunday. However, there's another scenario that may keep the storm a little bit more to the south, and it may miss us completely. So we have to kind of iron those details out. More fog tomorrow, rain tapers, cloudy, lousy weather Saturday, dry though, 40. There's the wet snow Sunday. I think the highest chance of accumulation south, and then we start to calm down and just kind of chill out into early next week.
And I swear, when you were saying to have to linger, I wanted to break out in Cranberries so badly.
You should have.
I should have just broken out into song right there.
You should have. I would have been all about it.
Well, Craig, central New York wasn't the only place socked by the fog. One Midwestern landmark could hardly be seen. Here's a story from St. Louis.
At least you can. Eyewitness Weather forecast.
We were talking about in the break how, you know, Smith Hill can be kind of challenging when it's icy. The good news is we don't have to deal with ice tonight. There's another issue, though. If you have to hit the roads tonight, it's the fog. Now, as we look downtown at the current time here. That's the arterial. And you can see that well, first of all, you can see. So the visibility has improved at least a little bit. However, there are still areas of patchy, dense fog that will be with us through the overnight. And temperatures are in the upper 30s. I expect these numbers to go nowhere overnight tonight. Have a look at your forecast. So we've been dry, you know, other than the drizzle, which is usually what you get with a cloud that's on the ground. So areas of fog otherwise, but we will be seeing the rain kind of expand into the area here overnight, and it will be around through the day tomorrow, at least into the morning before it tapers to scattered showers. Some patchy fog, damp in the afternoon, the high of 45. And speaking of locally dense fog, that's what we have. These dense fog advisories over the southern hills into Oneida County as well. Meanwhile, up north, we're talking about a winter weather advisory because temperatures are just kind of borderline up here as the rain moves in. There might be a little freezing rain, but that's way up north. This is kind of a snapshot of what the fog will look like, a computer simulation. So out the door tomorrow morning, again, notice there will be some areas of dense fog, especially in the River Valley locations, along the Mohawk Valley as well. Now we'll start to see this fog kind of lift a little bit through the day tomorrow. In the 30s now, and like I said, these numbers stay put tonight. Upper 30s to near 40 into Otsego County, 37 at last check in Old Forge. All right, let's talk about what's going on. So not much, at least in terms of the rain. However, off to the west, you can already see some returns starting to show up out towards Syracuse. That will continue to expand as we just have this influx of moisture straight up from the Gulf of Mexico. So another round of rain coming in tonight. You can see that spilling into Friday morning, and then we'll see it taper off to scattered showers and sprinkles through the day. Cloudy sky. And some patchy fog, especially over higher elevations in the hilltops. We're not going to shake the clouds Saturday, but I think Saturday should be mainly dry. Let's fast forward, talk quickly about the rain that's moving in tonight. I think by the time we wake up tomorrow morning, half-inch or so of rain, pretty likely, as some of that rain could fall heavy. Want to fast forward and talk about the Sunday deal because you probably have heard about it already here on social media. We will be watching an area low pressure down to the south. Now the track is still in question. If it tracks a little bit further north, which is indicated here, we're going to be into some light snow, but there are also some other ideas that this storm system will be a little bit more to the south. If that's the case, the heaviest snow will just scrape the southern tier, so still a lot of wiggle and play here. We'll keep you posted. Next 7 days look like this. So cloudy sky, rain tapers tomorrow, so patchy fog 45, cloudy sky Saturday, patchy fog early 40. There's the wet snow on Sunday. Again, it will determine, the amounts will ultimately be determined by the exact track. I think the highest amounts are going to be south of the thruway, and then we cool it off going into next week, which the last week of January.
Which is hard
already.
To believe. Hard to believe is the last week of January, but looking at the forecast, I wish we could just fast forward to Monday and get that sun.
A little bit of sun. I'm not sure just yet. I'm just trying to make everyone feel good.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I mean, but central New York wasn't the only place socked by the fog. One Midwestern landmark could hardly be seen. Here's a story from St. Louis.